A lot of what I talk about here will concern a distinction between descriptive claims and prescriptive claims. Let's start with descriptive claims. Descriptive claims describe the world. Shocking, I know. Who would have thought? Anyway, examples of descriptive claims are water is made up of 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom. The population of Colorado is about 5.8 million people, if you don't count the ghosts. And vaccines cause autism. The reason I included that last example is to note that in some cases a descriptive claim can be false. When making a descriptive claim, a person is saying something about how the world is, but sometimes the world isn't the way that the person claims it to be. In some cases, the speaker knows this. In other cases, the speaker is mistaken. So let's compare these to prescriptive claims. Prescriptive claims prescribe states of affairs. They tell us how the world should be, not necessarily how it is. The paradigm example of a prescriptive statement is literally a doctor's prescription that you should take 2 pills 3 times per day with meals. The doctor isn't saying that the patient is taking 2 pills 3 times per day. The doctor is prescribing or recommending that the patient make it true that the patient is taking 2 pills 3 times per day with meals. The statement, if you want to reduce your chance of lung cancer, you should not smoke, is offering a prescription to those people who want to reduce their chance of lung cancer. It's making a claim about what the person should do. Now, if you don't mind lung cancer, you can ignore this prescription. It only applies to those who want to avoid lung cancer. The statement, the minimum wage should be $15 per hour, is a prescription. Again, it doesn't say that the minimum wage is $15 per hour. It's prescribing, it's recommending that we make it the case that the minimum wage be $15 per hour. Just like with descriptive statements, we can question the truth of a prescription. Well, at least it seems that we can. There are those who dispute this. Unfortunately, we don't have time to discuss that issue here. It'll be discussed in other videos. Here's the important thing I want you to keep in mind. Our interest here in these videos is with prescriptive statements, statements about how the world should be, not how it is. What makes a prescriptive claim true or false? Can they even be true or false? Assuming that they can be true or false, what kinds of evidence should we be looking for? Also assuming that they can be true or false, which prescriptive claims are true and which are false? If you want to study how the world is, take a science class. We're going to be talking about how the world should be. Here are some examples of prescriptive claims that are relevant to these videos. The statement, judges shouldn't legislate from the bench, is a common statement. It asserts that the job of making or changing the law belongs to the legislature, not the judge. Judges should, notice the word should, confine themselves to determining what the law actually says. At least that's a popular sentiment. There are some people who would dispute this, and it'll be interesting to look at their arguments. Another example of a prescriptive statement is that the punishment should be proportional to the crime. We often hear this being said, but what does it mean for a punishment to be proportional to a crime? The First Amendment to the Constitution of the United States, in fact, the whole Constitution itself, is a prescription. It doesn't state a fact, it prescribes a course of action that it says will, quote, secure a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty for ourselves and our posterity, end quote. Another example of a prescriptive statement comes from Martin Luther King. King wrote, quote, I would be the first to advocate obeying just laws. One has not only a legal but a moral responsibility to obey just laws. Conversely, one has a moral responsibility to disobey unjust laws. I would agree with St. Augustine that an unjust law is no law at all, unquote. This introductory video has a simple goal. It's just to make viewers aware that here we'll not be focusing on describing the world and listing or memorizing facts. Facts will be important. However, our central focus will be on assessing prescriptions. We'll be looking at what people should be doing and at the reasoning behind claims of this type. How should judges interpret the Constitution? Should the government limit speech? And if so, when? Should you always obey the law? When is it the case, if ever, that people should be punished? And how much punishment should they get? What should we do with resources at the bottom of the deep ocean or on the moon? These are some of the questions that will concern us here.